Anthony Joshua is on the verge of becoming the first man to hold all four major heavyweight belts at once. The Briton holds the IBF, WBA and WBO titles, and must beat American WBC champion Deontay Wilder to become the unified champion of the world. Joshua most recently defeated Kiwi Joseph Parker to claim the WBO belt, and has been closely linked to a fight with Wilder later this year. AJ called out the Bronze Bomber minutes after his unanimous decision win over Parker, and Wilder responded in June, saying he had finally agreed to the showdown. More, who is Deontay Wilder, GGG Canelo rematch confirmed it would be the biggest heavyweight fight in many years, even surpassing the epic encounter between Joshua and Vladimir Klitschko in 2017. But who is Anthony Joshua? Here's absolutely everything you need to know about England's heavyweight champion of the world. When is Anthony Joshua's next fight? Anthony Joshua will reportedly fight American WBC champion Deontay Wilder later this year. Joshua called out Wilder after his win over Joseph Parker earlier this year, but talks stalled not long afterwards. The boxing world nearly melted down at the start of June when Wilder posted to social media saying he has agreed to fight Joshua in the UK this year. Is Anthony Joshua versus Deontay Wilder happening? Well, yeah, it certainly looks like it. Until June, it looked as though Joshua would fight Alexander Povetkin, who knocked out David Price on the Joshua Parker undercard. A Joshua Povetkin fight wouldn't sell nearly half as well as Joshua Wilder, and if Povetkin won, the whole division would be thrown into a shambles, so Wilder relented, saying he'd fight Joshua in the UK, most likely at Wembley in front of 90,000 people. Bring it on. Anthony Joshua vs Vladimir Klitschko. This was the most hyped heavyweight bout in over a decade, and it didn't disappoint. Joshua floored Klitschko in the 5th, but the Ukrainian legend returned serve in the 6th, sending AJ to the canvas in the 6th. Joshua eventually earned a TKO win in the 11th round to claim the vacant WBA, Super, and IBO belts. Check it out right here. What is Anthony Joshua's record? Anthony Joshua has a 21-0 professional record, with 20 stoppages. The only time Joshua went the distance was against Parker this year. How tall is Anthony Joshua? Joshua is 1.98 meters tall and has a reach of 208 centimeters. Anthony Joshua net worth. Anthony Joshua has reportedly earned up to $88 million in his career so far. The vast majority of that cash has come in his last couple of fights. He is rumored to have pocketed $26 million against Klitschko and $23 million for his win over Parker. A fight with Wilder would earn him upwards of $30 million. Anthony Joshua knockouts. He's had a few great wins in his short career. The Klitschko stoppage will live on in history as one of the defining moments in his career, but Joshua has shown his power and precision in the past as well. Joshua's 2015 win over Dillian Whyte is one to remember. After rocking Joshua early on, Whyte gassed after a couple of rounds and ended up getting knocked out of the ring in the 7th round. Check that one out here. Anthony Joshua highlights. If you want to check out some of AJ's best work for yourself, watch the video below. It shows all of his knockouts in one nice package. Anthony Joshua vs Carlos Takam. 6 months after his momentous win over Klitschko, Joshua was back in the ring taking on France's Carlos Takam at Principality Stadium in Cardiff. He stopped Takam in the 10th round, but some serious questions were raised about his performance. It should be remembered that Takam was a late replacement after Kubrat Pulev pulled out. Check out this documentary on the Takam fight. It's pretty good. Who did Anthony Joshua beat to win his titles? Joshua's first full heavyweight title was the IBF belt, which he won off Charles Martin via second-round knockout in April 2016. Joshua defended that title twice, before winning the vacant WBA and IBO titles against Klitschko. He claimed his third title by beating Parker in Cardiff. Where is Anthony Joshua from? Now 28, Joshua grew up in Watford, north of London. He still reps the area as well. Who did Anthony Joshua debut against? Joshua debuted against Emmanuel Leo at the O2 Arena in London in 2013. He earned a knockout with just 13 seconds left in the first round. Why was Anthony Joshua in jail? Joshua had a pretty rough childhood before boxing came along. As the familiar old story goes, the sport saved him, and put him on the straight and narrow, but, in 2011, with the Olympics just around the corner and his career looking very promising, Joshua, then 21, had what those close to him call a relapse into his bad old ways. Police pulled him over when he was speeding in his Mercedes and they found 8 ounces of herbal cannabis. They charged him with intent to distribute and he spent a night in the slammer. The maximum sentence for that crime in the UK is 14 years in jail, but the small amount he had, and his early guilty plea got him off. He left jail the next day, and it was the last scare he needed. He went back to training and earned a spot at the Olympics. Anthony Joshua at the Olympics with the Games in his hometown. Joshua won a gold medal in the super heavyweight, 91 kilograms and above division. Joshua had a tough run towards gold as well. In his opening bout, he took on Lindy Savon, nephew of the late great Cuban heavyweight genius, Felix Savon, earning a controversial 3-round decision win. Next up he took on 2008 Olympic Games silver medalist Zhang Chile, before beating Kazakh fighter Ivan Dichko in the semis. Defending Olympic champion Roberto Camarel met Joshua in the final, with the Briton claiming another heavily disputed decision win on countback. Check out the fight below.